Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for our Minority Contractors event. We are so glad that you are tuning in with us. First, we just wanted to remind you again that this meeting is being recorded. So if you jump on, if we see your face, you might come up on the screen, but we are super excited to be with you today. And I am about to pass it over to the CEO of BGC Advantage to get us started. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wells. Good morning, everyone. Very excited here today to be here with our contractor for our family development with Gibraltar. Unfortunately, we were not able to have our design team here, but DNA Workshop is who we will be working with on the architect side. So we are here today. I represent BGC Advantage. We're the development partners of the Housing Authority. We have been doing affordable housing for quite some time, and our niche is actually working with housing authorities to help transform their public housing into affordable housing. In Daytona, we actually have 331 units of affordable housing, and we are going through a big transformation, and we're going to talk a little bit more about each of those sites during this presentation. So just to give you a little bit more on the unit mix, we have 1 bedrooms, we have 2 bedrooms, and we have 132 3 bedrooms. The majority of the project is a rehab project, although we are constructing 20 new homes, and those will all be 3 bedroom. We have a vast scope of work that we are doing with this project. It is not a light rehab. It is really a comprehensive rehab project. So we'll be redoing the kitchen, we'll be working on the bathroom, all new flooring. There will be site work at some of the sites, new lighting. We'll also be introducing some energy efficiency through the lighting, and actually really working to help cut down on some of those utility costs. One of the big important pieces of this is just that you know that it is scattered site. However, the scattered site is really within a central area and not more than 2 to 3 miles from one project to the other. There will be a phased construction phasing, and we'll talk a little bit more with Gibraltar Construction about that. So just to kind of go through the project so that you know, we are also going through a rebranding process. So occasionally you'll hear kind of the old name, and then we'll be transitioning to the new. So Caroline Village, which will be the new Coral Breeze, is a scattered site construction site, duplex homes, and also we'll be doing some demolition and new construction. This site will also have some extensive site work, drainage, landscaping, lighting that will also be included in addition to the housing units. The Meadows, formerly known as Palmetto Park, also another scattered site clustered together, duplex style homes, again, extensive unit work and some light site work. King Palm is formerly known as Northwood 2, and actually is just down the street from a light rehab component called Northwood. And King Palm is also that same duplex design and a comprehensive rehab on that side as well. Northwood Village 2 is our newest development, and we'll be doing some light renovation work there, as well as some site work, also some landscaping, and addressing some erosion issues. Walnut Oak is truly scattered. We even have some single family homes that are part of this cluster of units, and it will be the Monarch. And again, some of the same construction type as some of the other scattered site with a major renovation. And then that leads us to Sage Harbor, which is our new construction that I mentioned earlier. And again, this has 20 new construction units, single family homes, and all 3 bedroom. We're really excited to introduce that new construction to the family development. Again, Bryce Risher is with DNA Workshop. That is our architect for the project. And they have a great deal of experience doing both affordable housing, public housing. They have a commercial arm as well, and are great partners for the community and really innovative in their design work. So I'd like to introduce who will join me here in front of the camera, Jason Perez with Gibraltar. Come on up, Jason. And then we also have Steve Foreman, who will be working with us on this project. And we're really excited to have you today. I feel a little bit like Oprah this morning. Again, we're going to just kind of turn it over to you. We went through a comprehensive outreach to select Gibraltar. They are very experienced in terms of renovation and public housing, as well as low-income housing tax credits. So I'll stand off to the side and let you kind of take it away and be here for any questions. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. All right. Hey, yes, like she said, my name is Jason Perez. I'm with Gibraltar. Also with me today is Matt Mitchell. He is our Senior Vice President. I'm with the Tampa Bay Commercial Construction Division, and he is the General Manager for our division as well. A little bit about an overview of the project. Total 331 units of interior and exterior rehabilitation. The importance we want to really highlight is phasing and logistics, variations of scope, units, and rehabilitation work. We have a 2-year project schedule, utilization of MBE, WBE, and Section 3 registered entities, Davis Bacon wages, certified payroll, e-verification enrollment, and also OSHA 10-hour certifications. All right, so with the bid process, our intentions are to distribute invitations to bid next week. Invitations to bid will be accompanied by a preliminary construction schedule and unit and building count matrix. Gibraltar has scoped out the project as a whole and individually, so we will be happy to provide notes for comparison if you request it. We anticipate 3-week bid period. The subcontractor and supplier feedback and bid results. Bids are to be submitted on company letterhead. Beyond that, there's no special requirements. Clearly identify your intentions, exclusions, and certifications.
Excuse me, can you answer a couple of questions as you speak this morning?
Possibly.
So if I am a small minority contractor and I really just don't have full scope to do all the sheetrock work, as an example, would y'all consider breaking it into smaller projects so that I could participate?
Yes, we could absolutely do that. Any kind of questions, direct that to Steve Foreman for any kind of breaks in the scope of work if necessary. Be attentive to the project schedule and amount of concurrent work. Provide a payment and performance bond rate with your bid. All right, now the construction process. Project will be performed in 2 different groups and like 2 projects going at once. Gibraltar will have field superintendents and a project manager allocated to each project. Subcontractors to be in place prior to the commencement of work. Weekly subcontractor meetings will be mandatory. Strict adherence with all OSHA requirements and SCGPPE requirements as well. 3-week look-ahead schedules will be generated for all work, material availability and storage. Multiple crews may be required. Schedule, tax credit, delivery schedule, the quality of work, punch out and warranty, and closeout documents. Okay, for our requirements, do you have a question?
I do.
Good.
So what if I'm working on the project and I run into a problem in just getting some of the materials? Who would I talk to, and would y'all work with me as a partner on trying to solve any problems?
That question would be best answered by Steve Foreman. So I would say, and his email is sforman@gibconst.com. Direct all your questions there. We'll help you out with the bidding process if you're not familiar with it. So, all right, and employment opportunities. We intend to subcontract 100% of all the work. We'll be considering employment of local individuals for openings within the field supervision. and employment opportunities as well with subcontractors. And also, if you want to register your company with Gibraltar, you can go online and go to GIBRALTARUCTIONCOMPANY.com.
Can you talk to me a little bit more about the GC requirements?
Sure. Okay. What specifically? Okay. All right. So I guess I missed this whole slide. I'll go over it. All right. Field verifications required. Subcontracts and purchase agreements, submittals and shop drawings, insurance, bonding, and like I said earlier, the Davis Beacon of wage rates, certified payroll, payment applications, retainage, e-verify, the OSHA 10-hour certification, and like I said, any questions go to Steve.
What about an individual? You know, I really am just, I don't have a company, but I am an excellent carpenter and millwork, and I'm really hardworking, and I actually live over at Palmetto Park. Is there a job opportunity for me?
Most likely, yes. And we want to verify that with field verifications as well. But yeah, there's plenty of opportunity here. I've been speaking with everyone here. There's a lot of growth going on. So there's plenty of potential here.
And whether or not you are an individual or a business, there is a link for applications on the Gibraltar website. That information post this meeting will be available on the BGC Advantage website, bgcadvantage.com. There will be the phone number and email for Mr. Foreman, Mr. Steve Foreman from Gibraltar, the link for applications, as well as the recording of this meeting that you can share.
And that's all I have.
Okay, before you leave this morning, I'd like to bring up Matt, who is also with Gibraltar, and introduce him and let him talk
Just a little bit. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. And we're really looking forward to this project. So Matt, you have a lot of experience in construction, and you're from Florida, and I know you're really excited about getting this project going. Can you just tell us a little bit about your role and what you're looking forward to?
Generally speaking, in this particular project, we're still seeking numerous levels of subcontractors to follow up on minor breaks in the scopes. And back to, I think, the original question on size, I think it's important to know that we'll break the scope down to accommodate minority contractors. We'll assist them with paperwork. We have people in place to handle paperwork. And I think it's important to know there's, that you have to run your business like a business to work with us. You have to have insurance. You have to be registered to do business in the state and the city. And as far as independent opportunities, if you are a carpenter, drywall finisher, a painter, any of the skilled trades, you will have a job through this program very, very easily. Both large projects, the high-rise project and family housing. So there will be plenty of opportunity, and you can reach out to us on the website. Me personally, our office number, we'll be available to take calls, applications, and we're ready to hire subcontractors now and put them in place for this contract.
Well, we really appreciate that. Matt, can you talk just a little bit more about Davis-Bacon wages? So some people may not realize there is a thing called prevailing wages, and they're set by the government, and they're based on the region. And just how does that impact me if I'm coming to work or if I'm a subcontractor? Can you talk a little bit about that and the paperwork associated with it? And what impact does that have?
It's interesting. Davis-Bacon, everybody kind of gets intimidated by the paperwork. It's really just almost as simple as doing a paycheck. So if you write a paycheck to an employee, Davis-Bacon asks you record that and that you pay a minimum wage for the scale. On this particular job, it'll be posted to the website so I don't misspeak. But there are two levels of it. One, there's a federal minimum wage made for any public work. So you have to pay at least $11.25 an hour. Gibraltar has set our minimum wage at 15, so we've already exceeded that level. But as far as the scope goes, your work classification will derive what you're paid on an hourly basis. And you just have to, the reporting part is to make sure that a fair wage is being paid.
Well, that's really exciting that if you are here in the community, just to start with the high caliber of not just your experience, but what you're offering in pay, you're already over that minimum requirement. And so if I'm an electrician, if I have a plumbing, a certification or drywall, each of those are going to be classified and I'm going to have an opportunity to be paid at those rates.
Correct. Or, again, that's the minimum. Most of these thresholds are already achieved or achieving a rate much higher than the Davis-Bacon wage. But it's just a standard to apply so that there's no unfair employment practices and everybody, gets a fair shot at making a decent living
That's
doing
right.
construction.
That's right. So we really want everybody to tell your friends. If you have what's called a Section 3 company, you would know about that. We really want your participation. And then, of course, we want individuals participating. We failed to mention women-owned business. And, I am from the women-owned business side, so we want to make sure to encourage that as well. Again, you're hearing it live, and then it will be recorded on the website, but please, again, we really want your participation. The Housing Authority is very excited about this project and really wants to offer, whether it's residents, people in the community, job opportunities, as well as bid opportunities for various companies. So we thank you so much for being here with us today and are very excited about Gibraltar and getting the family development going. And thank you, Mr. Jason and Miss Natalie Wells. Thank you. And on behalf of the Housing Authority and BGC Advantage, thank you so much for your participation today. And we look forward to seeing you at our next outreach community event. Thank you.
Thanks.